I don't. Sorry, I got heartburn. Uh, don't like using it. Nothing's a big word. I didn't think I had it in me. I don't really like using iron books. Something I'm like, just not today. So I don't know. What's the first? Secret weekly. They're not really good. I don't know. No, I work tomorrow, but this I'm wearing a nose stuff for school. I do not. I hate this iron. It's terrible. This iron is terrible. Like I hate it. So I do have a topic of conversation that I think guys would actually like to talk about tonight. It might be a little sensitive for some people. Yeah, hear me? So I do have a topic, a conversation. Are y'all ready? Can y'all hear me just fine? I don't even know how to thank you. I have watched the phones and everything. So like all that is done. Can y'all hear me just fine or no? Oh good. How are you? All right for the second conversation? Okay. So my son was talking to me about he said it's this particular person and they're a boy. And he said that he noticed that like the little boy is trying to be a girl. And I said, okay. And I said, like there were questions that I had asked him. And I said, honey, is he your friend? And he was like, mommy, he is. I said, okay. I said, now let me tell you something. I said, now this is your friend. I said, so I want you to treat him with respect, be kind, and be respectful. I said, I don't want you sitting up there being rude or being mean to him because that's not nice. And I say, God tells you to love them. I said, but most importantly, he's a human being with feelings. So we were talking about it, and I wanted to just let my son know, I don't care what nobody say. Like you don't ever let somebody tell you who your friends can and can't be just because of like whatever they decide to do with their lives. That has nothing to do with you. Um, I want to teach my son that everybody is human. Everybody has feelings, and you don't treat nobody no different because of what they want to be, like whatever gender they choose to be. That has nothing to do with you. And I said, I said I never want to see you, or I said I never want to hear about you being mean to somebody, or you not bothering somebody. I said I never want to hear that. I never want to hear that. Never. Can y'all hear me? Is my Wi-Fi okay? Okay, I think hopefully it's okay. Okay. So, I never want my son to like I'm not gonna teach my son to be rude or disrespectful to anybody that, you know, like if a man wants to be a woman and a woman I go to Ulta Beauty and there's this gentleman that works there and he wants to be a girl. Which it's not my business. I did have a conversation with my son. I said, okay, honey, listen, I say, if he ever approaches you on any manner of, you know, they're young and like I'm staying on him about it. And I say, if he ever tries to approach you in any manner and you ever feel uncomfortable or you say, hey, this isn't okay. I said, what would you do? He said, Mommy, I would walk away. I said, okay. So, again, I'm not gonna tell my son to like, oh, like beat him up or like tell him off. That's not in my spirit. I'm not doing it. That it's wrong. Make sure he knows that's a friend. That that's his friend at all times. Don't switch up on him in front of people if they teasing him, etc. Not saying his and I made sure I said that to him. I said, let me tell you something. I said, I don't ever want to see you, or I said, I better not ever catch you, or I said, I better not ever hear that you are bullying him, that you are taunting him, or I said that you are being mean to him. I said, because then you got to come home to mama. You don't want that. I don't believe in that. I don't care. Listen, I say God made no mistakes. God made you who you were supposed to be, male or female. But whatever you want to do, that's your life. That is not like my preference to sit here and tell you, oh, you gotta be a girl because you're a girl. You could sit here and be a damn fraud for all I care. It don't got nothing to, it don't have nothing to do with me. And I say, make sure that you are always comfortable around him. And I say, never tease him. And I told him, I said, never switch up in front of nobody. I said, I said, I better not ever catch you being different because like other boys are around. I said, don't you ever do that. I said, because that's your friend. I said, so you always make sure you are respectful and you're nice. I said, I never want you to step out and start doing all this, other things that others do. I said, I don't, I'm not like that. Did you think it's okay for your son to hang around him? I do, because these are kids, and like, I'm not gonna tell my son, oh my goodness, like, you can't. I'm not. I don't. And at the end of the day, this is where my son can learn how to handle something like this. And somebody may say, oh, he's young, that's too much on him. Baby, if he learns at an early age, you know, he will learn. He he's fine. No, not that. What you mean, no, not that? These are kids. You know what I'm saying? So like, imagine what he's going through as a child. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like I would never tell him. I would never. Hi. What up, though? One minute. What up, though? One moment. Like, what up? So, this is a child. I'm not gonna tell my oh my goodness, like, is my Wi-Fi working? I don't want to go. Sorry. Right, they are kids, but the point I'm trying to make is the way these kids are nowadays and they try and target your son thinking he's like that too. And I told my son that I said, listen to me, and I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to say that I don't care what nobody else thinks. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, oh my goodness, this is what he's I don't want to hear that. Like I'm not into that. I don't care what you think, how you feel. I don't give a like you could be around somebody that is that is like that. That has nothing to do with you. Like, no. And that's why I say the world is so messed up. Just because you see me with somebody that's like that, again, doesn't mean that I'm like that. Don't get me wrong. I had to get a couple teachers together too. I did. But I was always respectful. I never I'm never gonna go inside the building acting belligerent or ignorant. I'm not moving like that. I'm not doing it. Like that's no. Not saying you have, but like me, no. No. And y'all gotta understand, like when it comes to my son, like I'm standing by myself 10 toes down. Like I don't have, like nobody else helping me like stand up for him. So I'm standing up for my son by myself. And these are kids. Like I'm not going to sit up there and tell my son, oh baby, don't be I'm not doing that. It's at the end of the day, this child still has feelings. Like, what the hell are you doing as a grown ass adult telling a child, oh baby, no, you can now some parents are like that. I'm not one of those parents. At the end of the day, I'm gonna love my son regardless. Period. Like he's 9. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I have these tough conversations with him. Like some people, like I've heard some people say to me, oh, you're too hard on your son, baby. If I'm not hard on him, this fool is gonna drag him. And I'm not letting my son be a statistic or be a number. Like, no, thank you. Yeah, so it's like perfect example. You know how people say that you shouldn't fight in front of kids? There were two grown people who I got into an altercation, a physical altercation in front of my son. I was pissed. I was really, really upset. People told me, oh, Like all his clothes is clean, clothes is washed, everything is put away. I'm all set to go. Okay, there we go. Nice. Without all that. So I don't, is my phone working properly, y'all, or am I like, or am I slow? Is my phone working, y'all? Oh, we good. We good, y'all, or no? Hold on, guys. Okay. Okay. So, so yeah, like I have tough conversations with my with my little one all the time about about things like that. And I always say the younger they are, the more they can learn. And I feel like, how social media is and things like that, and they just throw these things in these kids' face. And I will always say this, I will always tell my son, just because you don't want to go that way or be that, you know, there's nothing wrong with you. So like don't let nobody tell you like, oh, something wrong with you. No. Like you keep liking girls, baby, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So hi, no. Hi, my love bug. So I bought 40s. Hi, baby. I'm crazy. Why am I crazy? Same too for you. Hi, Munchkin. Hi, Tutu. Hi, Moody Tutu. Hi, baby. So I bought four by an accident. Yeah, I didn't mean that. Hmm. What you thinking about? Hi, to get off my life. So I can finish talking to him. He always on my live, y'all. Good Lord. This y'all be nervous when it comes to this mother. Lord Jesus. Okay, so can you get off my live now so I can finish talking to you? Please, I appreciate it. I think my little one left. Hi, you're my little one. So, you still here or no? Mm-mm. Antonio. Antonio Montano. Oh, the phone heart is so cute. Thank you. This is it. You all know that. This is my ice cream right here. Mm-hmm. This ice cream do big things for me, okay? Like, seriously, this cream is so good. You all see about 40s by accident? You love to eat. I am human, right? This ice cream? I don't know. I don't go all of that. Listen. Mm, mm. It says calcium, iron, and potassium. No vitamin D. Pause. No intentions. It says so. Okay, you guys. So we were talking about I'll always do what listen. It's not right if you don't have a snack at night. You know. Now, oh really? I don't like to throw my ice cream around. Yo, I went to the store. I had got like some gum. I, Low key, I got it for free though. Oh, you think so? Thank you, babe. Oh, you bought the Hamilton's hummus? Mm. Hi, beautiful. How are you? So we was talking about you there? My little one is still up. Um, so we were on here talking, and again, this topic may be sensitive to some people. So if it is, I do apologize. But we were talking about how when kids, like, there's a little boy that my son know, and he acts like a girl. And I told my son, don't judge him. Oh, me, thank you. Hi, I say, don't judge him. Don't be mean to him. Don't get around other kids and act like them towards him. I said, because I'm not going for that. My son knows I don't play that. The bullying, mm-mm. I don't like bullies, okay? Like, we're not doing that. Not over, I don't care what nobody else do, but over here, we don't bully nobody. Over here, we don't disrespect nobody. Over here, we know how to carry ourselves. Period. Like, I'm not going for none of that. No. And my son, no, you show respect when respect is given. And always tell my son, if you feel like an adult has said something to you, you come get me. Listen, stop the press. Queen walked in the building. Everybody say hi, Kiva. Hi, beautiful. How is your Friday night going? Yeah, so like I told my son, I said, don't just you want to see a side of me? You ain't never seen before. Try some shit like that. I try some shit like that. My son, no, I don't play that. My sister was a bully. She was bigger. Me? No. Mm-mm. I'm glad you're having a good Friday night. When you took two naps, oh, you was tired, tired. You was tired in real life. How do you feel now? Now you took your two naps. And be like that. Sometimes you be like, and then you wake up like, All right, let's get this day started because I know it's still early for you. So I'm glad that you got sleep because you definitely needed it because you work and I can see a workaholic. I love me some Diva. You already know that, period. And Miss Leah and Lobo. Okay, and Evie was on here, Double L was on here, my babies was on here. I had an amazing Thursday night. um, I will always tell no, like don't ever, And I tell my son, don't judge him. I was like, he's a child, so don't ask him, questions. No, he's young. Is that Andy? That's not Andy. Um, I was like, don't come off as you are making him feel uncomfortable because like that's not for you. And I get it, they're kids, so they're gonna ask, their kids. So I can understand if if a child asks him, but I get it because they're kids. But the way I look at something, right? Somebody else may not look at it like that. They may look at it as, oh, like your child try to like be disrespectful to my child. No. And that's why for me, when our friends lack, I have to see, like how they are, how they interact with other kids, like how they treat like their parents and like adults and things of that nature. Because if I see that, like if I see that your child is rude to you, no disrespect, I don't want my child around it. Um, if I see that your child is rude to like other adults, I don't want my child around that. And it's just like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm never gonna sit there and tell another parent like, oh, you need to listen, I mind my business. I only gotta focus on my son. Like I don't gotta focus on nobody else's child besides my own. But that's why I think it is important for you to know like who your child is around and like how they move and like who they have around them and how they are. I think stuff like that is extremely important because you never want to put your child around somebody and you don't know who and how they are. And then they come home and they're totally different and you're like, okay, well, what the hell is going on? And sometimes you just don't know. That's why I always say you have to be, and I'm gonna be very honest. This goes for men too. Like, be careful with the women that you have around your daughters and your sons because they could try to be funny too. Just like how y'all be like, oh no, man, she a 304 because she got all this men around my son. Listen, you talking about her. You might want to watch the girl that you have around your son too. Like, you might want to be careful. And I'm saying like overall in general, like with every parent. Like if a man and a woman has a boy, and like let's say if the mother brings a lot of men around him, but like the child's father say, oh, you this and you that, but are you looking at the girl that you have around him as well? Like you so focused on her, baby. Are you focused on your own home? You might want to be careful with that because then I keep telling people, watch what you say because I swear to you, like it will backfire on you so bad. And you be sitting there looking like, damn, you sure did do it. And you know how you did it? By using this. By using this. Oh, always tell my son, watch what you say, watch how you say it, and watch who you say it to. Okay? Because I'm telling you, like, God will have it to so with all that you wished on somebody, you end up in it. And I always like, yes, what was that? Was it yesterday? I think it was last night. Was it? He said, oh, I'm gonna be sick forever. I said, let me tell you something. I said, the tongue is a powerful curse. Watch what you say. I said, because it can be to where your epilepsy, you never grow out of it. I said, so if I were you, I would stop saying that. I said, because you don't want to speak these things on yourself. And I said, also be careful how you talk to yourself and about yourself. I said, because you could be saying something negative about yourself and you could be speaking it in existence. And then you asking and you wondering, well, why is this happening? Because you said it was. Hello? I'm not going to sit up here and say, I'm never going to find somebody. I will say it may take me a little while to find somebody that has a sense of security, of course. But I don't want to say, oh, like I'm never going to find somebody, like I'm never going to be happy. I don't want to speak that in my existence. Like, I want to speak that companionship in my life. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I want these things for myself, and I do. And, like, that I tell him, listen, watch that mouth all the time. And that's why I say I have tough conversations with him. Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I always tell my son, don't ever disrespect the older person. I said, because, honey, if you disrespect the older person and you walking down some stairs, don't be surprised if your ass tumble down every stair, every step. You cooking dinner, don't be surprised if your ass get burnt real bad. If you get into a fight, don't be surprised if somebody whoop your ass. Okay? Because like you being disrespectful. You have to be careful with what you say and who you say it to. I tell him this all the time. I say, you could think that you got away with it. You could be driving, right? You could be driving. You get into a bad car accident. I said, when it comes to older people, I, uh, I, that you better not ever lie. You better not ever. You better not ever. I will always tell my son, and I will always tell my son, respect someone as if they were me. Hear me out. And I say that because I will always treat somebody with respect as if they are my mother, especially if you're my elder. I was taught you respect your elders. Mind you, I didn't have older people cuss me out. My response is, have a good day. Okay. What I'm gonna say. Like, I'm not finna fuss with you like you older. I'm not stupid. Are you crazy? I'm not trying to go to hell. Hell no. Cuss me out. Like just cuss me out. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like, period. Like, no, mm-hmm. Oh, gotcha. Mm-hmm. So I make sure that these conversations are held. I make sure that these conversations are had because they are important. My mind, he's getting older. He's going to start to see more. He's going to be exposed to more. And that's why when he wanted Snapchat, I told him absolutely not. He wanted TikTok, I said absolutely not. You're 9. Stay 9. No. I don't want you 9 and then tomorrow you wake up and you damn near 19. What the happened? Like, stay a kid. And I'm gonna try to keep him a kid for as long as I can. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I want him to have a normal childhood. You understand what I'm saying? And I always tell my son, I don't give a damn if everybody in the bathroom smoking. You leave. Like when I tell you, I talked to him about peer pressure. I said if somebody ever try to get you to do something and you know what's wrong because I taught you, you leave. And I think it's sad that we have to tell her like, and I'm not trying to like I'm not even trying to be disrespectful, but this is where me being a boy mom, this is where I keep it a buck with the people that can have an understanding, especially, and I'm not trying to be funny. But if your child is an African American, I will always tell my son, whatever you do, always try to stay by or near a camera so it can see you. And you know what the sad thing is? There are really some people sitting in prison that are innocent and still can't get out. Proof shows that they didn't do what the woman said, or like they didn't do what somebody said, and they still sitting there. Why? Because you're a woman and you cried wolf. Sorry, y'all, but like I have tough conversations with my son. As his mother, I have to. Like, I do. Mm-mm. Noah does not have Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. What was the other one? I think there was another one. I said he don't have none of that stuff. And I feel like it's sad that these kids just can't be kids anymore. Like y'all try to make them be like these big superstars at such a young age. Or like, oh, like my child better what's like what my child got on. Who cares? Like your child could have on the blingiest bling, and somebody will still walk right past them as if they don't see them. No disrespect, but if your child is not important to somebody, ain't nobody gonna stop. Like who's stopping for your child? Who's stopping for my child? Like, cause I'm gonna keep walking by. Like, what the hell? That's just my thought process. I am so cool. It's cool. But I just feel like, I mean, it's crazy because even when these kids do be trying to be kids and like play at the park and things like that, you'll have somebody trying to be like, "Oh, you're too loud." They're at the park, like leave them alone. When these kids want to be kids and they just want to play, it's like you get somebody like, no disrespect, but you'll get like a person that's older, not like older, but it's like maybe 40s. Oh, you're too loud. They're at a park, like take your ass on somewhere, like leave these kids alone. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm like, no one, no one doesn't even have a YouTube page. Like, no, like I just want him to be a kid. Like that's it. Just be a kid. Like stay a kid. You know how many parents like probably wish that they could go back and just be a regular kid. And that's why it's like I like I always say like I listen. I go to Noah friends' houses and things like that. Like I make sure I meet the parents, like I see how they are and things like that. Because if something is fishy, and I mean my baby got to go. We out of here. Girl, I didn't even know what the hell a damn social media was. What the hell? I'm like, what's the huh, what? And I never had Facebook. I never had Snapchat. I never had Twitter. I had Facebook. No, I had Facebook for a little minute for y'all. No, 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 not Facebook, Instagram. I never had Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. I had an Instagram for a hot second for y'all. And then like I took it off. So other than that, like I was supposed to put it back up, but I was like, nah, like I'm cool. Like I'm straight. So that's when I was like, I'll just stick to this as my platform. And I got close to what 17,000 people. So I think I'm doing pretty damn good. So I think y'all like what y'all see and I think y'all love what y'all hear. So I mean like As long as y'all cool with it, I'm always gonna be cool with it. As long as y'all rock with me, I'm always gonna rock with y'all. Period. Like I'm always gonna be respectful. Like I'm always gonna try to make sure that, I reach out to you guys, say happy birthday, things like that, like, hey, how are you? How's your kids? Like sorry guys. Kiva said that part and we did that without the help of Instagram or Facebook. Period, Pooh. I feel like my thing is acting up, you guys. So I'm gonna say goodnight. I love you guys. Kiva, it was amazing to see you. I felt a little bit. I love you guys. I'm getting off. I love you.